A patient sits in a therapist's office, identifies a problem, and makes a solid, actionable plan for the week. The next day, they wake up and execute absolutely none of it. Medical providers and loved ones usually observe this and apply a standard label. They call it executive dysfunction, or they assume the patient is simply disorganized, unmotivated, and not trying hard enough. The failure is actually a structural clash. The therapist and the patient are operating on entirely different cognitive architectures. Dissociative identity disorder is a multi-mind operating system. To survive severe trauma, the brain's shared hardware deliberately partitioned its hard drive. When you run therapy software designed for a single unified consciousness on a multi-mind machine, it crashes the system. To actually help, we have to translate those standard psychological assumptions into the reality of a partitioned mind. Providers often expect a person with DID to instantly know which alter is currently in control, or to log their identity shifts on a diary card. This assumes the mind works like a third-person video game. They think there is a manager camera hovering a few feet behind the physical body, allowing the patient to see their entire character, view their stats, and easily track who is taking action. The internal reality is strictly a first-person shooter. The alter who is fronting looks directly out of the physical body's eyes. Because they are locked in this isolated view behind amnesic walls, they have no idea they are acting differently from the rest of the group. They do not remember the other parts, so they lack the comparative data needed to recognize their own distinct traits. This exact structural isolation explains why a patient cannot retrieve past memories on command. A neurotypical mind relies on an internal reference index to know what memories exist and where to find them. For a partitioned mind, that filing system is completely wiped out. It is a massive library where the card catalog has dissolved, and all the covers are missing from the books. The memories and identities technically exist inside the building. They remain on the shelves, entirely inaccessible, because the current consciousness has no index card to even know what to look for. This brings us back to the dropped therapy plan. From the outside, failing to execute an agreed-upon routine looks like sheer laziness. We can translate this failure by looking at the brain as a restaurant with no overarching manager. The front employee, the alter sitting in the therapist office, listens to the advice and writes down the order ticket. But an impenetrable amnesic wall physically blocks them from handing that plan to the kitchen. The alter who wakes up the next day to cook the meals never even receives the ticket. This lack of internal communication leads to the most devastating illusion of all, the appearance of intentional self-sabotage. A provider watches a patient meticulously pay their bills and organize their schedule on Tuesday, only to entirely upend that careful progress on Wednesday. Internally, the patient is solving a Rubik's Cube with intense tunnel vision. The alter is wide awake and hyper-focused on their immediate reality. They look at their specific side of the puzzle and successfully align all their colors. As they turn the layers to fix their side, they have zero visual awareness of the other 5 faces. They unknowingly scramble the exact progress another alter made on the opposite side of the cube. They are not sabotaging themselves. You are watching uncoordinated survival. Isolated parts of a single life frantically try to create order in their own reality, completely unable to see the damage they cause to the whole. Dissociative identity disorder is an incredibly complex system executing its exact design. It keeps the body alive through profound isolation. Because the internal hardware is permanently locked in that first-person view, the system has to engineer the missing third-person perspective on the outside. This automated smart home protocol acts as the overarching manager. By tracking motion, the external environment forces communication across amnesic walls. It hands the order ticket to whoever wakes up, explicitly instructing the current consciousness to check whiteboards and read the calendar. This proves that even when the internal fabric of reality tears apart, it is possible to weave a functional, shared reality in the external world. To learn how to build these external cognitive prosthetics and navigate a fractured reality, join us at We Have the Will.